I mean, this video is just kind of like a formality because I haven't updated my comic on Webtoon since last year. Even though it's being updated on my website like at a very regular basis. Hi, I'm Jen. I am a comic book creator who works full-time in the indie scene. What do you know? Comics don't have to be a side hustle, Webtoon. Sorry. I've been making my own webcomic called Skal, which is a fantasy webcomic for many, many years now. And I started uploading it onto Webtoons in 2019. I was on Canvas, so I obviously never reached any kind of real proper like monetization success. In short, it's not really worth the time and effort for me to keep doing that, so I'm going to be removing the comic from the platform and keep it to just my website. But along with it taking a lot more valuable time that I could spend eating cheese doodles, I'm also highly aware of Webtoon's adult content policy. I already have like a disclaimer on my Skal comic that basically states that it's not suitable for minors or whatever, but it is just genuinely too risky for me to keep putting any effort into that platform because it could just be taken at any point. The power is in their hands. They can just remove your stuff when they feel like it. All of the work that you've put into it will just be gone. Like, it is their platform at the end of the day. Also, I was just having like a quick little, nosy around over on... Oh shit. I'm trying to be modest here. Try not to show any cleavage at all. You never know, There we go. Is this allowed? But yeah, I was just doing a little bit of a nosing around on YouTube to see if there was any opinions from other creators about Webtoon in 2023. I came across some videos. Now, obviously, I haven't been researching things because I need to be making the comic books. Like, I haven't got the time. So anything I am showing you is literally just me looking at YouTube videos. So please don't take any of this as like absolute facts or whatever. Let's just like have a little look together for fun. This is a video by Matty Bites that I just found.
So I had no idea how bad Webtoon had gotten in the past few years until I happened upon a variety of highly inappropriate comics that are not only on Webtoon but have thousands to tens of thousands of views, all while Webtoon sits back and does absolutely nothing to protect its main user base, children.
Now, the reason I'm showing you this, and I will be putting like a link to the actual whole video in the description so you can have a look on your own if you want to. This person goes into stats a little bit about how, what kind of people are actually using Webtoon. So we'll see if we can find that.
As Webtoon has grown in popularity over the years, numbers consistently show their main user base is 64% females, ranging from ages 14 to 24, with some statistics stating that ages as low as 10 are using the app.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me because Webtoon also has an anti-sex thing and like an NSFW kind of like no on their platform. So yeah, the fact that you have mainly young people using this does make me incredibly uncomfortable. Whereas before I was just like, look, I've got the disclaimer up on my comic. I felt okay with that, but this is now added on to why I've decided that I'm just not going to have my comics on there at all, because clearly the platform is not intended for creators like me, so I am not going to be on there anymore.
A simple solution to this problem is to more heavily monitor what type of content is being posted to your site, as well as marketing your more tween-friendly content to those younger viewers. A company this large and widespread cannot claim ignorance to the fact that they allow sexual content to be shown to minors, knowing the audience they have. But time and time again, I am proved wrong, and Webtoon continues to promote predatory ideologies to literal children. And because of this, other artists in comics that are far more talented and noteworthy are completely drowned out by the sexual and harmful content Webtoon keeps up on its site. But hey, anything for that coin, huh, Webtoon?
Now, I might be... When I watch videos like that and other videos that talk about the audience that Webtoon has and the kind of creators who are on there and stuff like that and how people view lewdness, it's quite clear that people like me should not be on there. From what you saw on that video, if the stats are to be believed, then the user base really isn't the kind of user base that I want for my work. Believe it or not, like most of my work is not smut. Like I have one series that's called Genitals, which is literally like, it is hentai basically. So like that is full on smut. And I have had amazing reviews where they say it's very, very light on the story and more about the fucking basically. And I'm like, yeah. But the other stuff I do, like I make horror comics, and the fantasy comic that I'm talking about, Skal, and other stuff like that. It is still for adults in the way that the subject matter is not something that I am, even though it, like for example in my horror comics, it's nothing there that's like sex, but it's not something that I would want minors to read. And the same with like Skal. Skal does have sexy stuff in it, but it's not in the same way as with Genitals, for example. And again, I'm not comfortable with minors seeing that. So so basically Webtoon is not the platform where I want to put my work on anymore, even though I have that disclaimer on there. Also, I've heard, just to bring it back to the age of the user base, I've heard complaints from creators that apparently the user base thinks your comic is dead if you don't keep uploading on like a weekly basis or something, which shows a profound lack of knowledge and appreciation of how comics are made, which is just like, it's not magic. It's a lot of work to make comic books. In worst case scenario, I mean, I've heard of people burning out when they actually get onto the next level of Webtoon, when they get like signed or whatever, because the schedule is just so intense. To me, it just sounds like a burnout machine, and I don't want to hop on to that. Sorry to bring in like a wrestling reference, but you only have so many bumps on your bump card. Like, you only have so many flames on your burnout card. Yeah. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that when you burn out, like, you don't just like jump back and go, yeah, let's go. Like that's like a little notch, a little tick in your little card there. And now that sticks with you. I don't think that we should be encouraging them to get into this kind of hustle, grind set shit, because you don't want to make people burn out when they're young, or ever. You don't want people to ever burn out. It's really bad. Sometimes you, instead of just having like the burnout card having one flame, it only takes one flame to just completely obliterate the card. And you're done. Yeah, sorry for rambling there, but this is one of the reasons why I don't really think that the whole culture on Webtoon is healthy, and I don't want to contribute to that in any minor way by even having my content on there. So Skal is gonna be gone. So I mentioned that I was watching some other videos as well. So I found this other channel, and I haven't watched this whole video because, again, I need to get to work. Should you post on Webtoons in 2023? See, getting videos from people who are in it or were in it like up until very recently, I think is very good for this kind of thing. So I have to reiterate that obviously I don't know if the statements that these people are making are correct. I don't know if if they bring up stats or whatever, or if any of that is true. Please take this with a shovel of salt, because I haven't gone to research it. I haven't gone to fact check these people. I need to be drawing pornography.
I saw some figures for North America that put the deficit, and this is like old because they don't do this every year because they're very tight-lipped about their profitability, as they should be because they're in the hole. They were in the hole by about like $4 million.
Wow.
And their revenue
That's
is
Webtoon,
only like
the company.
It's only like 18 million or something, but they're paying 24 million. You know, that was the cost. And this is old data too, right? And you know that post-pandemic, their revenue has gone down further, but their costs have gone up because they acquired so many series during the pandemic that they're still just putting out as a trickle.
They are.
You know,
yeah,
they're trickling them out, and so they're making less revenue, and then they're paying even more costs. So that gap of 4 or 5 million has gotten even bigger.
Yeah.
So that's the true reason. That's the true picture of Webtoons behind the scenes, and that's why if you post on Webtoons, they don't pay ad revenue share anymore.
So these people apparently got to the next level or something where they started getting, well, were supposed to be getting the ad and the ad revenue and things like that. And this is what they've been saying about it.
And then the tipping system, they're going to take 50% of your tips.
50% of your tips. Your tips. Just imagine you're, I don't know, you're working in a coffee shop or whatever. I've been there. If you get tips, that's your tips for doing a good job. Webtoon, apparently, according to these creators, take 50% of your tips.
Which is like, why would you even post there? If you're planning on making money, if you're planning on doing this full-time, as your full-time job, like if you're just doing it as a hobby, fine. If you're doing it as a full-time job, they're taking 50% of everything you earn. And
they're taking 50% of everything you earn? Is that not just tips then?
There's no viewership anymore. It's not YouTube. It's not like YouTube where you post something, you know, it takes us 2 hours to film, maybe 3-4 hours to edit. And then you just post it and it's like, oh, it's just a hobby between two people. We make a couple $100 a month. It's nothing like that. It's a full-time job. They're taking 50% of your earnings on a full-time job.
No, webcomics are infinitely harder.
The viewership is tanking, so there's no value proposition as a creator. There's no reason for me to put my stuff on Webtoon.
Not at all. In fact, but somebody did reach out and ask me, like, why did you stop posting your comic? Yeah. If you, by all intents and purposes, you pretty much made it. You got noticed by Webtoon, promoted a handful of times, a big subscriber base, etc. So what made you want to stop posting?
They weren't gonna freaking pay us, bro.
It's not just the lack of payment, but it's the fact that Webtoon is so transparently, like, they don't have any metrics for you.
No.
Yeah, this bit, I think they're probably going to go into it, so I'm probably just going to be talking over that. Apparently, they don't even give you any stats or anything. So you have to guess about how well you're doing. It's not like YouTube, which is like the complete opposite, where YouTube just showers you in stats, which is actually kind of intimidating for people like me. But, yeah.
They don't tell you any insights.
It's the opposite of transparency. Yeah. It's the opposite of transparency.
They just keep waving the carrot in front of you, like, oh, you got another couple thousand subscribers because we promoted you. Oh, maybe next time you'll get an offer from Webtoon.
It's like the claw machine.
Yeah, literally the claw machine, and it's like, it's torture.
Every time you put in a couple quarters, that's 80 hours a week.
Yeah,
on your Webtoon.
It's crazy because you see some Webtoon originals before they became originals, and when they were on Canvas, and the creator was able to put them out at their own pace, and the art is better, the dialogue is better, the characterization is better, but then once you get into the hustle mindset, and it's like, I gotta be doing this.
Hustle mindset? Yeah. By the way, again, I've not seen these people before. I don't know how old these people are, but they appear quite young to me. And the fact that we're talking about like hustle and shit like that still, and again, I'm not saying that I'm like elderly or anything like that. Like I'm 38. But like, fuck, I've been in that hustle grind shit my entire career, and it sucks. It really, really sucks, and it sucks that it's not getting better for people. In fact, it just seems to be getting worse.
4 chapters a month, otherwise I'm not getting paid. I gotta have my money to make my rent. I've gotta do my insurance, because Webtoon doesn't do insurance for you, right?
No, like, they don't give you any benefits.
Yeah, so
no
you gotta
benefits.
do all that, plus you gotta pay your assistants and everything like that. The quality just goes down the toilet.
And another thing that we were talking about is how they have these ridiculous arbitrary standards for how many panels should be in a chapter.
Yeah.
This is something, again, that doesn't really apply to me, but a lot of digital comics and like web comics nowadays is like they are like scrolling comics, which obviously I don't do because all of my comics are made for print. So everything is like, you know, I'm basically doing the boomer books. I do everything one page at a time. So yeah, but the fact that Webtoons seem to be wanting you to do a certain number of panels, so it's not about pages or anything like that. Like they've moved past that. They're very much like, this is a scrolling thing. It's not about, it doesn't seem to be about quality. It seems to be about how much can you churn out? How fast can you get it out?
Yeah,
That doesn't make any sense.
Well, the biggest thing for me that like really ticked me off and soured our experience with Webtoon is that by all rights, especially with Butterfly Dream, because they promoted it several times, they were basically telling us we were on the right track.
Yeah.
And you were producing that every week, and you were producing Webtoon original length chapters.
Yeah.
So it's like, how much more do you have to do? And you do that for like 3 months. Like, how much more do you have to do before you get picked up? There's nothing. There's no communication, no standards, no guide. It's not like you.
I'm sorry, this is just me going, like, I'm trying not to be too indie on main, but like, why would you want to be picked up? I think I always keep on harping on about this, but like, if you can, if you want to, it's all up to you at the end of the day. Do your own thing. Like, don't, at least have like the stability or like the safety net of having, if you can, having your own website, if you can afford to. I know there's lots of ifs here, but like, at least like aim for that so that you have something that is yours. Don't put all of your eggs or whatever, all of your little comic panels into one basket, that being Webtoon, and hope that you're gonna get picked up by Webtoon. Like, don't have that be your goal. Like, if you want to make comics for you and for the enjoyment of making comics, not churning out as much as possible to be picked up by a company like Webtoon. That's just me being indie on main. I'm sorry, I'll stop.
YouTube where they're transparent, like you do this and you'll get paid.
Yeah, and they tell you the metrics for your video, how long people are watching it, how many people tuned into this video, what point they started to drop off, how your video is performing relative to other videos.
With YouTube, once you hit the threshold for payment, that's it. You're a YouTube creator, and you're not on the payroll. There's no contract. You're not forced to make videos. You can make videos at your own pace. You know, like a couple $1,000s a month. You will never hit that amount of money off of Webtoon on Canvas or through ad share.
And even if you do hit that amount of money as a Webtoon original, it's not worth it, in my opinion.
It's nothing. Like I'm saying, it's nothing like YouTube, because at YouTube, if you're a YouTube partner, you can make videos at your own pace. They're not forcing you to make one video a week, and it's not a 90-hour-a-week job. That's what I'm saying. The biggest difference...
90 hours a week job. Like, is the thing, why would you... Again, I don't know if this is true, so might just be me just going rah at nothing. But, like, why would you want to be picked up by these people, or this company, sorry, and then have them allegedly take 50% of what you do, and you apparently, allegedly, it seems, have to work like 80, 90 hours a week? For what? Jesus, love yourself.
Between Webtoon and YouTube, or any, like, staying as an independent producer, is that Webtoon owns you. Once you sign up with them, they own your soul. They won't give you, they still don't give you metrics.
No.
They still don't tell you how much money you're making in FastPass, you know, and they hide the ball from you completely, and then they're also giving you the weekly deadline. There's nothing like that on YouTube.
Weekly deadline? I'm sorry, I can't.
My honest opinion is, if you want to make money off of Webtoon, you want to do it professionally, put it on Webtoon. Never sign the original contract. Do not become a Webtoon original creator. You don't want to be on that weekly monkey grind.
No.
And try to make your money off of Patreon.
Yeah, Patreon
Patreon, YouTube. Do something else that makes you a decent revenue. Post your comics on YouTube and like advertise them on Webtoon.
Yeah.
But the other thing I'll say about Webtoon is that so not only do Webtoon not want to pay you as an original creator, I feel like the audience for Webtoon as well, even if you're trying to do Patreon stuff, the only stuff that consistently gets money on Patreon, and we mentioned this in the video, is NSFW stuff.
Yeah.
And
Uh-oh.
It just seems like if you're trying to write a story that's not like leaning into like the sleaze factor or lowest common denominator, people just don't want to pay for it. I feel like the audience on Webtoon is very entitled. They want really long.
This is where I have to be like, wait, excuse me. I can only speak for myself, but I started my Patreon for Skal, which is, you know, the comic I've been talking about, which is not predominantly smut. It's not. It does have nudity in it, and stuff like that, and it does have like sexy things, situations, but it's not about that. It's just like a comic where, you know, like, sex exists. You know what I mean? Again, I don't know if I'm being too European or whatever. Yeah, I started it I started a Patreon for that, and then that's basically then slowly over, I don't know how many years, I had that be the main thing. And then I asked my patrons, would you be comfortable with me expanding my Patreon to make it like include like all of my comics? And they were like, yeah, go for it. So then I started making horror comics, no sex in that, and people pay for it. And, you know, we also make By Man and Angels, which is a space opera comic. That is the safest work I do together with my husband. No sex in that, not even any nudity. People pay for it. We're now started doing Red Fam, which is a cyberpunk comic. Yes, I think there may be sex in that. Maybe? I don't know. I might eat my words. I don't think there's a lot of, like, crazy sex in that or anything like that. Yeah, and that is also for adults, but it's because of the adult themes, and people are paying for that. So I just want to be like, look, no, you don't have to do sex for people to pay for your comic books. I have to disagree completely. And I don't like this idea that people think that because you do sex stuff, you do NSFW things, that's like sleazy and what do they call it? Lowest common denominator? I actually really do want to remake that little Jenspiration I did ages ago, which was just like, what's the difference between like erotica and porn? It's like, where do you draw the line? But whatever, we won't get into that. Anyway, I just thought that was funny.
Chapters every week that's full color, and they want like, you know, high quality art, high quality story. They're not willing to pay for either.
No.
And if you consider the fact that ad revenue is nothing, it's like you want me to work 100 hours a week for free.
Exactly.
You know, like pay me $1 per issue. They're not going to do that.
No.
If you want to do Webtoon as a full-time job, you pretty much have to go NSFW, advertise it on Webtoon, but put the rest behind a paywall.
Yeah.
Or
how do you advertise that on Webtoon though? Because Webtoon is not allowing that. I mean, the previous video I showed you says that that person basically talked about how they're not policing it anymore, apparently. So maybe that is because they've got so many people working, they like putting their stuff on Webtoon, they haven't got enough people to actually check it. So maybe you can get under like the radar and advertise that you're doing stuff that's saucy as well. But again, I have to reiterate that like it's too risky. Why would you want to do that? Why, like, for what? When you could be spending that time and energy eating cheese doodles and making your own stuff that you have control over long term, and then like, you know, not have this I would call it like this constant like anxiety and fear and like having to look over your shoulder, like at what point are they gonna find me? At what point am I gonna get banned? Like, you don't want that for yourself, surely. So yeah, I do have to disagree that you have to do NSFW stuff for people to pay. But it does show you how difficult it seems to be. Like, with these creators literally wouldn't even get their money paid out. They had like, what, $50 or something? They talk about that in the video later on, I think, where they basically talk about the fact that they had $50 and Webtoon, they had to like chase it because Webtoon just won't fucking pay out $50 to these people, which is just like, that's really scummy. I'm sorry, that's just really scummy if it's true. So yeah, there's also one final thing I wanted to show you from these people. I have not watched the whole thing. I'm going to be doing that while I'm working because I really enjoy listening to them. So yeah, I'm going to go to a point here where they start talking about the fact that Webtoon don't seem to like criticism, maybe. So let's see if we can find that.
That's really it. We didn't refilmed this introduction to be meaner, but we didn't really slander Webtoon a lot.
Webtoon sucks.
Okay, yeah, Webtoon friggin' sucks.
I mean, use it if you want to gain an audience quickly, but don't expect to get paid for it.
No,
they're gonna cheat you out of your money, like they cheated us out of our money.
And then they tried to come after us again for these stupid YouTube videos.
Dude,
what's up with
they
that?
censor small creators all the time. There was a Webtoon exposed Twitter thread that was talking about how much they don't pay their creators.
And then it got nuked, right?
Does anyone have this thread somewhere? Apparently, yeah, they say it got nuked. I'd love to read that shit. Give it to me.
It got wiped off the face of the internet. They make all their creators sign NDAs, so they can't talk about their pay, which is super shady, potentially illegal. They pay anybody who has like a dual language Spanish and English comic. Basically, don't do it because they'll pay you like $400 a month.
Oh god!
And they'll pay you the LATAM special, which is like $100 a chapter.
Yeah, I heard about that.
That's freaking awful.
They
bro.
pay their international creators like below minimum wage.
Yeah,
way below.
It's like $800.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's horrible. So don't tell them that you're brown. Basically.
Fucking hell.
If you're gonna use them, I wouldn't. If you want to make a living off of it, it's like the easiest thing to do, but it's like signing a deal with the devil. You know, it's like the devil will give you what you think you want, but then you'll be in it and you'll be like, oh my god.
And also, by the way, when they say it's the easiest thing to do, I think that what they probably mean is, or what I think that they mean, is that it's easy to get it set up and you just get going because the platform is there, so you can just put your webcomic on there and it's all good. You don't have to have your own website or anything like that. You can just, it's like plug in and play kind of thing. But it's not easy in any way because, as they also mentioned before, and as I've probably mentioned way too much, it's a lot of hard fucking work. So it's easy to get in there, but then you gotta keep working. And it also seems like a lot of the audience is very young and I don't want to say don't appreciate you, like that's a bit like, oh, please love me and my comics, you know, you do you, whatever, but they don't seem to quite maybe appreciate that it takes work to do things, and like saying that your comic is dead if you don't upload it for a while or whatever. So yeah, like what kind of audience do you want for your comic book, and how much work do you want to do? It might be easy to set up, but where do you go from there?
Why did I sign this deal?
Exactly.
It's like a Faustian bargain. The only people who made away with money were the people who signed up in like 2015 to 2020.
Yeah, the people who got there first.
Everyone else after that, because they're losing money, they're still not profitable. There's no way to profitability because streaming is collapsing.
Yeah. Capitalism.
They're like panicking, and I think they're gonna try to get rid of their US creators as much as possible and move to the Korean model because it's the cheapest for them. Okay,
so at this point, I'm going to stop here, but at this point, I think they start talking about the fact that a lot of Americans and, maybe Europeans, whatever, they don't really pay. So, like, you have like a fast pass and stuff. I never got into this because, again, I was never in any way successful on Webtoon. I just uploaded my stuff there, and apparently once you get into like the originals or something, you then have the fast pass, and that's when you can like pay money to see the content earlier than everyone else, unless they've changed that. I don't know. But yeah, apparently there's a huge problem with piracy in America and stuff like that. According to the video. I don't know. Not even thinking about all of the NSFW stuff for a bit, just thinking about like the extra work that you are putting in to put this thing onto the platform, and then you're not going to get paid. You're basically essentially giving this platform your stuff for free, and hopefully you'll get views from it. But then it's like, is that the kind of audience you want? So yeah, anyway, I will post their entire video in the description so you can have a look. I certainly will continue watching that while I'm working later on because I really enjoy listening to them and I love their artwork as well that they got on the side. So that's really cool. I just wanted to do this quick video to basically say that I don't really want to be on Webtoon anymore and Skal is being removed. I will be doing it solely on my website and as usual, I am doing all of my Skal issues to be printed once they're done. So every page is put on my Patreon and on my site studio. They all share content. It's put there as when it's completed, and then I put it onto the website as well when it's completed. So everyone just gets to see everything, and it's all good. So you basically don't have to pay for anything if you don't want to. You get to see it, but like I'm so happy to have these long-term supporters on Patreon and also my site studio, which I do need to take some time to properly like upgrade and stuff like that. It's just I haven't got time right now. I've got so much to do. Sorry, I'm just rambling now. The point is that what was the actual video? Oh yeah, I'm not on Webtoon anymore. I'm removing myself from there. I just don't see how it's in any way gonna be a platform for me. Even in a small way, I don't feel comfortable being on that platform. That was a lot of rambling. I'm gonna have to edit this down somehow. I'm gonna go back to work now. But yeah, thank you for hanging out. If you happened to make it all the way to the end here. You can also find me on Twitch, where I stream from this studio and I just show comics being made. And by the way, no, they don't allow anything NSFW on Twitch either. It's so easy to make smut. I'm so fucking jaded. Just show this video to anyone who's like young and wants to get into comic books. When you're 38, this is what you're gonna be like. I'm so fucking cynical now. They all want you to die. They all want you to just produce things until your hand falls off and then they'll chuck you in a ditch. I love making comic books. I'm okay, it's alright, honey. The dog is like, you okay there? Yeah, I'm alright. We're just talking about platforms again. This is just what happens when we talk about platforms. And I just get a bit spicy when people talk about spicy stuff as well. I can't help it. Okay, bye. He's just like, okay, I'm gone. Anyway, yeah. I'll see you guys around. Have a lovely day. Goodbye. Goodbye. Hi. So, this is future Jen. I was supposed to finish editing this video this morning and then just post it. So part of that was me just quickly Googling to see if I could get some quick little screenshots of some simple Webtoon basics, like what's Canvas, what's the difference between Canvas and Originals, just so I could have the info on the side while I was rambling on in that video. Then I kind of fell into a little Reddit-shaped rabbit hole. And I feel like I just want to read this. I've got a couple of posts here that I'm going to go through. I'll link the whole post, obviously, in the description, so you can have a look in your own time if you're curious. But yeah, I didn't go looking for this. This just kind of appeared. Should we just read this together? God, I'm very white. Can we fix that? No, it's too late. I'm just going to have to be incredibly white. I'm sorry. I wasn't intending on filming this. Can you tell? Obviously with Reddit anonymous posting, we don't know if this is true. I'm just gonna go through this with you. We'll just read it together for fun. Webtoon Originals Creator here. What you need to know about the $800 per episode fee. This is a throwaway account because I do not want Webtoon after me. As an original creator, I want to speak out. I will tell you details. If they remove this thread, so be it. I saw the other post talking about Webtoon Original Creators' wages and some of the comments in it. There was one big misunderstanding and I want to speak about it. Because as we creators enter into this uphill battle with Webtoon about fair wages, we will need all of your support here. We cannot be divided among ourselves. $800 per episode is not too bad. Quite a few comments had this stance, and I want to give more insights into this and why it is not a living wage at all. My series was signed at that rate, $800 per episode. Did I say pounds before? I have just woken up. But what am I getting actually? First, I spent 4 months talking with our editors to figure out the outline for the whole season, writing drafts after drafts of story ideas, story beats for the whole 50-episode season, countless emails, notes from editors, meetings. During the same time, also doing character designs, environment designs, promotional banners for launch, etc. This whole 4-month pre-production process easily took up to 900 plus hours, but I did not count them. Why? Because it was not paid. None. I only got paid for that $800 per episode fee. Once production starts, it only gets harder. Every week I spent around 70 hours to complete the episode. The minimal requirement is 40 panels. Okay, so that's good to know, because I was asking, I believe, in the original video, like, how many panels, like, how much are you supposed to do for this contract? Okay, so for them, the minimal requirement was 40 panels. A lot of you here are webtoon makers yourselves, so you must know how much hard work it is to produce 40 panels a week. At the same time, I was also drawing storyboards plus writing for the next episodes to get approval from the editor, all the notes and emailing. I know so many creators who work 80 plus hours each week. And this is not the first time I've heard this. This seems to be something that a lot of people are saying, that they are working 80 plus hours a week. To put all of this into perspective, $800 for a 70-hour week, that is $11 an hour. That may not sound too bad, right? But remember, the 900 plus hours I spent during pre-production. If we simplify things a bit and divide the 900 plus hours by 50 episodes, that is around 18 hours per episode. Add this to the 70-hour week, and we are now making $9 an hour. Still, some of you might still think $9 an hour is not that bad. Okay, can I just interject? It is bad, because oh god, this is one of the things that really fucking gets me when we're talking about making comic books. Comic books is like fucking skilled labor. Sure, if you want to get paid $9 an hour for your work, go ahead. But you're worth more than that. You are. If anyone is saying that you're not, maybe see that as like a massive red flag. And again, think about the fact that if someone is paying you $9 an hour, imagine all of that like extra, promotional, blah, 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 all that stuff for this platform. It's not really for you, it's for the platform. Could you not, I'm just like thinking out loud, could you not get a regular job? I've been there where you just have like your like a barista. I used to work in a hotel. I've been a cleaner. I used to work as a golf course manager. Like all of these jobs were jobs where I got sometimes minimum wage, sometimes maybe £1 or something over minimum wage, but not more than that. And once you'd left that job, for me at least, you were done for the day. Because they are jobs where you go into an office and you clean and then you're done. You go home and you do whatever you want. You've earned the money for the day and that's fine. Why not get a job like that pays you the $9 an hour, and then the rest of the day or whatever is yours and you can work on making your comic book the way you want, in like I don't want to say respected way, but like I just feel like, so for these people, these creators, I feel so disrespected. Like as a creator, don't you feel disrespected when they're doing this to you? They're fucking you over. They're laughing all the way to the bank. I'm getting heated, sorry. Please don't overwork yourselves like this. It's not worth it. Oh god, where was I? Some of you might still think $9 an hour is not that bad. Oh, hold it in, Jen. The thing is, I did not get the whole $800 per episode. Even though I worked 70 plus hours per week, I still needed help. I had an assistant to pay who helped with coloring. So you didn't even get that pay yourself. That was divided between a team. They help with colouring, whom I could not meet the weekly schedule from Webtoon. I also had to buy 3D assets from the backgrounds because drawing them by hand is not possible given the time frame. In the end, I'm taking in about $450 per episode. Some creators say that they take in as low as $300 after paying all the assistants. This is like so genuinely upsetting for me to read. If this is true, but again, I've seen many accounts like these, so like at this point, I'm kind of inclined to believe that this is true. Oh, this is like actually very upsetting to read. Okay, if you count... sorry, just as a side note, I wonder how old this person is. Can you imagine if this is the person's first go at making comic books and this is their first experience getting paid for making comic books? This is how they start. Are they going to want to continue making comics, or is this going to completely destroy any passion they might have had for the medium? I will not be surprised if they walk away from this and go, I don't want to make comic books anymore, it's not fucking worth it. It makes me feel so bad. Okay, never mind. Now, I'm going to start ranting again. Okay, just drink coffee and finish this post. If you count $450 for around 88 hours of week per episode I put in, I was making around $5 an hour. I won't even get into all the time spent on social media trying to promote our series because Webtoon will not promote you unless you are already popular. Isn't that helpful? $5 an hour, that's how much I made as an original creator. You must think I am an idiot signing this contract, right? Why do I do this? Because Webtoon makes you a big promise. Oh no, are they saying that you're like in a fucking family? They're not your friend. Red flag. If your series do well, you will get a ton from FastPass money and ad revenue share. They really do dangle that in front of you, don't they? I thought to myself, yeah, $5 an hour is not livable. No, it's not. But if I worked hard enough and made a good series, then maybe I can make it big with the profit share from Webtoon. My series first have to meet a minimal threshold first before I see any money. My series threshold is $40,000. How they calculate $800 per episode, my per episode fee, times 50, my episode amount, I'm not even remotely near that, and therefore my series will never see a single cent of profit share in its lifetime. So all I really make is just $5 an hour and all the friends along the way. Please, I beg you, stand with us creators on this one. Help us. Don't push down on this tiny bit of momentum we have right now to fight for a fair wage by telling everyone $800 per episode is not too bad, because it is really bad. Because it really is bad, sorry. I will answer your questions before they remove this thread. Ask me literally anything and I will answer it. Holy shit. If you're interested in this, I will obviously put the link to this post in the description so you can have a look, just see what they're saying. So that's the first one. I do apologize that I seem to be sitting in the brightest light in the universe. As I said, I wasn't planning on fucking filming. That genuinely made me so fucking upset though. I'm just like, there must be a way for you to make comics without being fucking exploited like this, right? Should we look at the next one? This is so depressing. But if anything, this is just solidifying my decision to not be on Webtoon. Because I'm not going to be part of this in any way. Tone down this whiteness for a second. Wow, look at that. I do have skin. Just like with the other one, I'll post a link to this in a description so you can have a look yourself if you want to. I'm a Webtoon original creator. Ask me anything. This is also 1 year ago. So, I put up a post like this a few years back now because I wanted to try and give back to this community and answer any questions y'all might have about working with Webtoon. A lot has happened since then, so I wanted to do it again. I create 2 original series on Webtoon right now with my girlfriend. Ask me anything and I'll do my best to answer. I can't answer anything about the specifics of our contracts is all. Little disclaimer, please note my opinions are my own, original creators are not a monolith and I don't pretend to speak for anybody else. And some extra context. Feel free to skip this bit if you're not interested. The reason I want to do this again is after the Twitter ad incident. I saw some misinformation flitting around and some conflicting opinions on whether or not to continue supporting Webtoon as a company. I think the situation is pretty complex and Twitter isn't the greatest if you want to talk nuance. Truth. I have no easy solutions and I don't pretend to, but I feel like filling in any gaps y'all might have. I feel weird as a Swedish person who speaks British English saying y'all. So I can only apologize to Americans. Because I know that probably sounds fucking weird. Anyway, I feel like filling any gaps y'all might have couldn't hurt. I don't know what this ad campaign is. I'm wondering if it's the same one that I was taking the piss out of in the video, where they said that comics is like a great side hustle. Like literature's side hustle. The only thing that surprised me about the ad campaign is that anyone cared. If anything, I see it as more of a mask slip than a oops, we worded this badly sort of situation. We've put up with these types of attitudes from certain areas with Webtoon for years now. It's kind of like a cycle of gaslighting and negging. You're doing amazing when we're not, and you suck actually when you thought you were doing great. It's kind of the vibe. Oh, mate. You know how I was talking about I don't feel like Webtoon has like a healthy work atmosphere or like, yeah, it's not, I don't feel like it's a healthy place to be. This is just really kind of solidifying that point of mine. It's kind of the vibe. That's not a good vibe, my friends. With that said, I think the ads were some out-of-touch marketing person who was like, we want to get more millennials on the app. What word do millennials like? Side hustle. It is that one. Stuff does change. I get this overwhelming vibe that people are really fed up lately. Readers, creators, everyone. I mean, for good reason. The launch week stuff is demoralizing, and Webtoon's legal team has gotten really fucking creepy, in my opinion. They're asking for more and more from creators and giving us less and less back. Okay, not a question, but you creators should do something that starts with you and ends with, yeah, nice. That's all I'll say. Love your work and desperately hope the conditions get much better soon. I don't think that's possible given that we are independent contractors. Yeah, unionizing comics is spicy issue. Yeah, it's not easy. I'm not versed in the law either. Also, I don't know how much good it would do to us because the majority of the series on the app seem to be Korean ports anyway. Makes us feel a little replaceable, you know? Yeah, that's what they want you to feel. They want you to feel like the moment you stop working, sorry, I'm getting heated again, but the moment you stop working, someone else will take your place. You're not special, and even if they'll be like, oh, you're doing great, sweetie, it's just to keep you working for as long as possible, and then once you've burnt out, they'll put someone else in your place. It's horrible, but we see this time and time again. It's just how it is, and I hate it. Thank you so much, though. Despite all my frustrations with the company, I think and hope they'll do something in return to how things were even 3 years ago. Things felt like they were a lot better for us creators back then. Okay, so literally this person has been making comics for over 3 years on Webtoon, and they're saying that it's getting worse. Do you have a tight release schedule? This is interesting. How many hours a day do you need to draw to keep up? Does this lead to a burnout? And 2, does the company have influence on the content, the story, the mature stuff, etc.? Okay, let's go. We release 1 episode a week. Okay, this is something we hear all the time. It seems to be a weekly schedule. And theoretically, that'll go up to 2 once our first series returns for season 3. Wait, do you mean you have to release 2 episodes a week? Or do you mean that you'll release one episode every 2 weeks? I'm not sure. I've just woken up, okay? To be honest with you, I don't know how we'll do it. Is it 2 episodes a week? Oh no. To be honest with you, I don't know how we'll do it. I think we just need to build up a very, very big buffer. Oh, that's like every comic creator is just like, we can do it. Just make a buffer. I know that feeling. Look, any creator who can make a buffer, I fucking admire you, because I have tried to keep a buffer for 10 years and I can't fucking do it. I can't do it. Before we can come back safely, we start into work around 8 to 9 a.m. every day, and depending on the day, we sometimes go till 11 at night. Every day! Every day! Depending on the day, we'd sometimes go till 11 at night. I would say on average, with lunch breaks taken out, we spend an average 10 to 12-ish hours a day on our work. And we don't take weekends off. Oh my fucking god. The burnout is bad. But I think that we've transcended regular burnout at this point. Oh, no, mate. After a few years of this, I can no longer take days off without stressing the fuck out and feeling guilty anymore. I will still sometimes hit cataclysmic levels of burnout and have a breakdown, but I usually get better within a few days. Ha. I'm sure I've said this before, because a lot of my videos here have been about me going, don't burn out, it's bad. But yeah, I've had a few burnouts, and I've had what this person describes as cataclysmic levels of burnout and had a breakdown. I had that. Again, without going into too much detail, I just want you to know that, like, I've been there in a way. Obviously, no one's, experience is exactly the same, but I have been there. Thank God for some amazing friends, because I slept on the floor of a friend's house in London. They had to, keep me company because I was just completely gone. I was just fucking crying and, having panic attacks, and it was just the absolute worst. Should I be telling you this? Probably not. It just fucking broke my brain completely, and it just cascaded out into everything in my life. And then I've had similar burnouts after, but they haven't quite gone to that level, because I think once I had that, I was like, okay, we're never gonna do that again. I am never gonna push myself to that level again, because it's not worth it. So after that, I've had other burnouts, but basically what I'm trying to say is, I've never been the same after that, because this person is like, oh, you usually get better within a few days. I don't want to be all doom and gloom, but you don't just bounce back from a burnout. It is gonna stick with you, and it will change you. It's just how it is. And especially also thinking about work injuries. If you're pushing yourself this hard when I am just assuming that they're young. Only because I was young. I was in my late 20s when I was doing this. You wreck your wrist, and you might fuck up your back, your neck, and everything trying to please a company. Why? Please take care of yourselves. This shit genuinely gets to me, because it gives me fucking flashbacks. Anyway, moving on. Webtoon has varying levels of influence on the content depending on the creators and their editor. Our editor is fucking wonderful, and we adore her, and she gives us a lot of good feedback, but knows when we're just not gonna budge on something. I've heard horror stories about how other editors, and especially their treatment of younger, less confident creators. But that aside, they cannot force us to change anything in the story unless it violates their terms of service. When we were on Canvas, we dealt with a lot of feeling the need to progress. If we felt like we were staying steady for too long, it felt like stagnation. We knew from the very beginning that we wanted to do this professionally. That was our goal from the jump. We had a devoted little community that we adored. The need for some sort of validation from someone who came from outside our small circle. We started to lose hope that we would ever achieve what we set out to do, and our work started to falter. That's when Webtoon swooped in with the offer. We were terrified, even at the time. We were like, we're going to regret this. But isn't this what we've been waiting for? Isn't this everything we always wanted? So we took it. We felt like we'd regret it forever if we didn't. We felt like it'll be selfish to turn our noses up at something so many people wanted so badly. Oh, mate, no. No. I'm curling my toes. And at the time, stuff was pretty good at Webtoon. Our series didn't pop off. We struggled, but I still had a day job. Okay, and at the time we were proud to have the title of original. It means fuck all. Everyone knows it means fuck all. So many canvas artists are just as talented, and many are far more talented than many of the original creators are, but it felt like validation. Since then, it's been sort of like a boiled frog situation. The degradation didn't start at all at once. There was no drop, it was a slow decline, and by the time a lot of us noticed how bad it had gotten, we were already so deep in, we couldn't do much to fix our situation. In short, canvas creators are, at least the ones who aspire to do this full time as their career, I think they deal with gnawing emptiness. We did, at any rate, and it's not all the time, and it doesn't really make sense. It always just felt like, but why not me? Why won't Senpai Corporation notice me? Ooh. Sorry, I just fucking hate it. I'm so worked up. I have said before that signing a contract with Webtoons is a bit like taking a deal with the devil. You sign because you hope, and then on the other side you realize that things are not exactly what they seemed, but you need to make the best of it now. It made sense to us at the time to sign, and it's weird. When I say nuance, I don't mean that in a way that I'm defending Webtoon. You're right that things are not right. Maybe it's Stockholm Syndrome? Fuck if I know. But if there is no more difference between a canvas creator and an originals creator than there is between a mouse looking for something to eat and one that has stumbled into a trap, I imagine the mouse in the trap is like, sure, was cool when I was free. Oh no. But then I was also starving, and now I have this cool scrap of cheese. So that's not nothing, I guess. Oh my god! They're making comic books! Oh, here we go. Okay. Do you actually make decent money on FastPass sales? I think I didn't quite understand FastPass. I assumed that it was like you pay to get early access, essentially. Or does Webtoon eat most of it? This is a really loaded question. I'll do my best. There are certain conditions you as a creator must achieve before you see any money from FastPass sales. Once you achieve that, you start making a cut of the profits. In the recent past, this condition was fairly achievable, but as more and more series get published and FastPasses get spread more and more thinly, it's become much less so. Once and if you do achieve this condition, you make pretty good money. It can mean the difference between living comfortably or not. Please let me be clear, if you really want to support a series, definitely FastPass for them. It's the second best to financially support them. Yeah, but how many percent? So is this the one where Webtoon takes 50%? I don't know. It's the second best way to financially support them. The first is via Patreon, Ko-fi, commissions, etc. Yep. As for whether Webtoon eats most of it, I cannot give numbers, but it's not an insignificant sum. So I'm going to assume there's 50%. It's just me assuming. If Patreon took half the percentage Webtoon takes, I think there would be public outcry. Edit. Also, it should have been mentioned that this is not how FastPass used to be done. Our first series doesn't have to achieve the same conditions as the new series do. So yeah, it does seem to me like they are altering the deals as they've gotten more and more creators in. Thank you for sharing. I'm an original artist myself, so I know the NDA. It's kind of scary. And it surprises me how much I identify with your experiences, except I'm sure they pay me way less. And the Burnout man. It's the worst. There must be a better way. There must be a better way for people who want to make comic books without being hurt like this. I wish you the best too. I hope they're not doing you too dirty. I've heard such horror stories about the LATAM side? Latin American? Is that what it? Oh, is that what they were talking about? The did they say the LATAM special? Where they were like, you get the international rate, which is half. I'm not gonna lie, I'm so sorry. If the person in charge of things on that side is the person I think it is, I'm extra fucking sorry. Actually, I should say a quick bit about the LATAM stuff for anyone who happens to skim by. I suspect you may already know this, and I'm sorry if I'm out of line for saying it. Webtoon seems to sometimes seek out creators who are bilingual. Here we go. In Spanish and English, and convince them to publish their Canvas series on the LATAM side so they can offer them the LATAM contract, which, regardless of where you live, pays like half of what the English contract does. And when you publish on the LATAM original side, they'll sometimes ask to just translate your series to English and pay you nearly nothing extra, except like maybe some ad revenue if you're lucky. It's heinous. It's very, very bad. If anyone who's bilingual in Spanish, be cautious about posting a webtoon on the LATAM side if you ultimately want to be an original, because they may try to pay you half. Do you see though how I was just like, I just fell into this fucking rabbit hole? So yeah, this entire end of this video is just me basically going, oh god, and reading Reddit posts. I know, it's, you know, it is what it is. So there you go. I just wanted to share that bit. I hadn't read it all. I thought, fuck it, I'll just read it and give you my honest sort of on-the-spot reaction to it. Again, I am so scared that I am a bit too doom and gloom and a bit too cynical about all this stuff. Just know that you making comic books is an incredible and just brave thing to do in the first place. Making something is fucking great. The problem is that a lot of these companies seem to really prey on people who are young and passionate and they want to get into the industry. So they'll be like, oh, you're so talented, come on in, we'll pay you for your comic book. And then they'll come in and then, you know, as now 2 people have said, it's like a deal with the devil. You're in it. And then it's like, oh, fuck, I'm supposed to be working like 90 hours a week and I have no days off. It's not right. Anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling. I need to go eat some breakfast. My dog is having a great little snooze over there. I'm not sure if you can see him. Do you see his face? He's so cute. Right, anyway, this is the end of the video, okay? I'm not gonna go looking for more shit. We have to end this fucking video at some point. So, if you made it this far, thank you. I'll see you around at some point soon. I enjoy making this kind of stuff, and I just gotta go back to my work now. But first I gotta eat. Have a lovely day. Actual goodbye. Goodbye.